Welcome to Building Foundations for Education. A new school year has begun, and I'm very excited to have my special guest with me here today to talk about all of the events and happenings. Welcome, Dr. Rundell.
Cynthia, thank you for having me.
So the school year has begun, and a lot of great things are happening. There might have been a couple hiccups, but it seems like things went pretty smooth.
Yeah, absolutely. We're off to a great start. Very smooth, great opening. All of the schools opened on time and everything. Transportation's been extremely smooth this year. Only a couple hiccups here and there. We did have some indoor air quality concerns at Osceola Magnet Elementary School. Some surface mold was found in some of the classrooms the week before we were to open school. And so our normal protocol is to clean the surface mold, make sure everything, remove it and clean the classrooms and then reoccupy. But people were a little worried about what were the conditions that might have caused the mold growth and how do we know that those conditions don't still exist.
Right.
So we didn't occupy those classrooms that were in question until we had done indoor air quality tests. And those take several days, which is good because they're very reassuring. So once we had conducted all of the different indoor air quality tests, we were able to make sure that Osceola was safe and ready to occupy all those classrooms that were in question. Now, a major kudos to the staff.
Yes.
At Osceola, because we did open on time and we used other areas of the school to educate the students. So the teachers were very flexible and they showed a lot of heart and grit and determination in teaching their classes in the media center, the art room, the cafeteria, some other areas of the school that weren't in question.
Right.
We just made sure we didn't use the classrooms that were in question, so to speak, until we had the indoor air quality tests back. And, the school community of Osceola Magnet kind of rallied together, the parents and everybody, and a lot of district support, making sure that everything was done, but still opened on time and had classes going and everything. And I think, student safety is the #1 priority.
Right.
So we made sure that everything was safe for the students and the staff to occupy. So they're back in place in all of the classrooms and everything's going along smooth.
That's great. Well, again, what an outstanding tribute to those teachers, to the Osceola team, because that's a lot to flex and be able to accommodate everybody. So they should get a special prize.
That's the thing. They wanted to have school.
Yes.
They wanted to have their kids, come to school, and they wanted to teach them and everything, but we all want it to be in a safe environment.
Right.
So, they were very creative. And we brought some extra district resources to the school, some extra laptops for them to conduct classrooms in some areas around the campus and stuff. But it was really good to see all the teamwork that went into action, so to speak, to make that happen. But all the other schools opened without any hiccups. Like I said, transportation was very smooth this year.
Yep.
I think we started this year on a Monday.
Right.
Traditionally, we start on a Monday. Because of this change in the state law that when it allows us to start school as early as August 10th. You may recall last year, August 10th was a Wednesday, so we opened on August 10th. And it's good to sometimes have a broken week, so to speak, to start because you get all the first of the year procedures out of the way.
Right.
But we didn't want to start on a Thursday this year. August 10th fell on a Thursday, so we waited until the following Monday, August 14th, to start. And I think starting on a Monday, having a clean week that first week of school, everybody's really used to things starting on a Monday, so I think that helped out.
Well, and I think, again, that's a reflection of the great committee. There was the committee that put that together, which represented teachers, parents, community members, so it was really supported by with a lot of thought.
Yeah, there's a calendar committee that meets every year, and different people serve on the committee, and you can only serve on the committee for a number of years, then you have to term limits kind of thing, so the same people aren't making up the calendar every year. But there are parents on the calendar committee, teachers on the calendar committee, some district staff on there, and then some members of the community. And usually we have a student or two participate as well. There's a lot of things that go into the decisions around when we start, when we finish, which holidays we observe, and when we start Christmas vacation and that kind of stuff. And it's all a committee work.
Yes.
And you may recall last year, the calendar committee put out a survey. They had the calendar that we're in, the one that we just started. We put out a survey, almost a year ago, to the community with this calendar and another draft, and asked the community to give us input.
Right.
And this was the one that was received the most support, overwhelming response, and that's why we use this calendar. So not only was there a committee,
Right.
but we did ask the community as a whole to give us input.
And so we've had community input on another subject, and that is looking ahead. It seems like we just started the school year, and we're talking about the next school year and having a differentiated start time.
Yes, a different committee, looking at a different start and finish. Not the calendar of the year, but the
Right.
start of the day. You know, there's a lot of research out there that shows that teenagers in particular, their biological clock and their emotional clock and maybe even their physiological clock doesn't really start working until about 8:30 or 9 a.m.
Wow.
So there's research and suggestions out there by pediatrics associations and everything that school for high schoolers especially shouldn't start until 8:30 or later. And our high schools start at 7:10 a.m. in the morning. Both of our comprehensive high schools start at 7:10, and the charter high starts very shortly after that, about 7:15 or 7:30. And so we had another committee was formed to kind of take a look at, well, if we wanted to consider making a change to the high school start times, well, how would we do that? How would that impact the middle schools and the elementary schools? And so that committee met for about 6 months last year, starting in about January, and they finished up about June, May or June. And they looked at a lot of different districts around the state and the country. They looked at the research,
Right.
and they came up with a recommendation that they made to the board at a workshop the other day that would change the time of day that the different levels of school would start. And their recommendation actually has elementary school starting first at about 7:45, and then high school next, about 8:20, 8:30, and then the middle school starting at 9:05. That's their recommendation as a committee.
Right.
I have not made a recommendation to the board. We're still going to gather some more information. So we're just looking at the possibilities.
Yes.
And you hinted that that's something for next year.
Right.
Yes, if the board were to consider making any changes to the time of day that we start and finish school, that would not take place until next school year. So nothing's changing this year, and there's really no recommendation before the board yet.
Right.
We're still in the information gathering stage, and there's information on our website about it. So if people are interested, they can go to our school district website, IndianRiverSchools.org, and there's a tab about the school start times committee's work.
Right.
And there's even a survey for people to give their feedback. So, you know, we've become quite accustomed to asking for feedback from our community on different things, and the online survey is one of the best ways to get it.
So another hot topic, I guess you would say, is the strategic plan. And so there had been the town hall meeting, there's been a lot of input, and at this point in time, what's happening with the strategic plan?
So the strategic plan is finished.
Yep.
It's been adopted by the school board, so now we have a 5-year comprehensive strategic plan. It's quite another good example of our community partnerships. You know, our logo is actually based on the home school community partnership, and that really came through when we were developing the strategic plan because we had a lot of community input. We actually sought out input from 27 different community organizations when we were crafting the strategic plan, and that partnership with the community is evident throughout the plan.
Yeah.
There are a lot of examples of the school district and different communities working together. So the plan has been approved. Now it's time for us to execute the plan.
Yes.
So a lot of the initiatives in the plan, we'll roll out those as we go forward over the next 5 years. One of the things that the community needs to understand is it's a 5-year strategic plan. We're not going to be able to accomplish everything the first year.
Right.
So we've developed a set of measurable objectives that go into each of the different 5 goal areas. And as we go through the next 5 years, we'll keep the community updated on our progress on each of those different goals and measurable objectives. Now we will go out on the road, so to speak, over the next few months and present the strategic plan at some town hall meetings and some other events around the community. So people will know that we didn't just create this strategic plan and put it on the shelf,
Right.
that we're actually going to be implementing it over the next 5 years, and we want everybody to see what it is and how it's going to impact our students.
Well, and I think it's really great, your efforts for outreach, you know, with all of these topics, that it's not like you sit in your office with a bulletin board, you know, or a bullseye and darts and say, well, when should school begin next year? Let me throw that there's,
Right.
you know, there's a lot of thought, there's a lot of research, there's a lot of involvement from the community, so that it's not just a reactive, there's just much that goes into it.
Yeah, well, this, the public school is really a community partnership.
Yes.
And so we need to make sure that we're valuing that partnership. Really not just with our families, the students and their families that are involved, but with the community in general.
Right.
All of our actions impact the entire community. School start times is a great example.
Yes.
If we were to change the times that elementary schools, for example, finish during the day, that would affect a lot of our daycare centers. The middle schools, they're really closely related to some activity centers that we have. The Gifford Youth Achievement Center
Right.
and the Boys and Girls Clubs, both their number one customer are middle school students.
Yeah.
So if we change the time of day that middle school finishes, that would impact their operations. So anytime that we're considering making a change or doing anything different in how we operate, we need to know that we're part of a bigger picture. We're
Right.
part of the community, and so if we change some things, that's going to have a ripple effect. So reaching out and getting the community input at the front end when we're trying to make those decisions really helps us see, oh my gosh, if we do change this,
Right.
it will affect this business partner or this community agency, and we need to consider that before we make a change and that kind of thing.
No, I think it's really smart. And speaking of homeschool relationships and partnerships, we have a lot of open houses that are beginning, and we want to encourage parents to attend those. Those dates and times are on the school district website. Is there anything you want to say to encourage parents about the importance of open houses?
The biggest thing is that this is your opportunity to make a connection with your son or daughter's teacher
Yeah.
or teachers. If you're at the elementary school level, this is an opportunity for you to meet your son or daughter's teacher and kind of establish that relationship. Maybe set up a communication link,
Right.
share cell phone numbers and that kind of thing, so that if there's any questions or concerns, the teacher can reach out to you directly, or you can reach out to them.
Right.
At the middle school and high school level, you get to meet all of the different teachers that your son or daughter has during the day, and really, that school, that partnership with the family is very, very important for the success of the son or daughter at school. So this is that time of year where open houses are scheduled, so we really encourage parents to attend the open houses. They're all in the evenings, so typically even most working parents can make it.
Right.
And it would be an hour or two out of your day, but it really would pay big dividends to make that connection with the teachers and the other members of the school staff.
Even I think just to understand how your student travels on campus, how long does it take to get from one spot to another, in addition to meeting the staff, I think is important too. And
Well, you get to kind of experience what your son or daughter is going through during the day.
yes.
And so, yeah, traveling the schedule during the open house is really valuable. Whether when your son or daughter says, well, I really can't make it to second period, I'm late because I have to go across campus. You'll be able to go and walk the schedule and see if that's true or not.
Right.
If it's, a far distance and they're having trouble, or if they're being caught socializing and that kind of thing. But
Right.
yeah, to know what your son or daughter is experiencing every day would be very valuable.
And of course, another great way is to learn about the resources that are available to parents, like the Focus link on the school district website. Great way to keep in track.
Yeah, we're in this age of electronic communication, and the Focus student portal is a way for parents to see their son or daughter's grades at all times. It's a way to communicate directly with the teacher. You can send them messages through Focus and that kind of thing. And we're going to actually enable a texting feature later on.
Wow.
Everybody's used to the automated phone calls that we receive.
Right.
Later on this year, we'll be converting that also to a texting feature. So we can actually send everybody some of those messages via text,
That's
not
awesome.
necessarily through the phone. So
That's great. And more great things happening. We've got the Technical Center, that's developing, and things are starting to happen there as well.
yeah, this is a really big thing for our community. It's a big thing for our school district, but it's going to affect the community. So we already have an adult education program, and it has some technical course offerings. And we already have some technical course offerings at both of our comprehensive high schools. But we don't have a VOTEC center. A lot of us grew up in areas of the country where there was a VOTEC center, a vocational technical college, or a center that maybe high school students went to high school for part of the day and then went to the VOTEC center, and maybe adult community students went to the VOTEC center. And so we're going to have one.
That's awesome.
Right there in the heart of our county in Gifford. We have a campus that right now houses some adult education courses, but also houses our alternative center for education. and we're going to convert that campus into a technical college. All of our adult technical courses will be there. Most of them are health career related.
Right.
There's the clinical nurse assistant program, medical coder biller, phlebotomy, and an LPN program. So those courses will all be there. But we're also going to build a new building there, a structure that will house vocational education courses.
Right.
Plumbing, electrical, air conditioning, carpentry, welding, all of those programs will be there. And this will open in the fall of 2018. So just in a year,
Wow.
we will have this vocational technical center or college right here in our community. Students from both comprehensive high schools will be able to access the technical courses there, but so will adults. Adults will be able to go and get training there and get certificates that will put them right to work in our community. So the idea for this technical center or technical college came from really two areas. Number one, we have a career and technology advisory committee that's made up of a lot of local businessmen that help guide some of the decisions we make with career and technical education. They kind of indicated a need for some more vocational training in our area.
Right.
The housing boom has picked back up, I guess, and so there's a need for more skilled laborers, electricians, carpenters, plumbers, and those types of things. But also, we needed to expand our adult course offerings. So these two needs kind of met at the same time, and we're going to be able to fulfill that. And it's a really big thing for our community because not all of our students are going to go off to a four-year university,
Right.
But they can go to this technical center and get a license to practice a trade and go right into the workforce. A lot of the courses will be dual enrollment. They will count for college credit at IRSC. So Indian River State College is a partner with us in this project. So it's going to be a great thing, and it should open in the fall of 2018.
That's really exciting. So I know Indian River State College is a partner, and then will they also be teaching classes on that campus as well?
Yes, absolutely. They already have an HVAC air conditioning program at that campus already. And so some of the courses that will be offered there will be our instructors, but some will be their instructors. And most of the courses, especially in the level 3 courses, are going to be dual enrollment. So kids are going to get credit. Well, I shouldn't say kids because they could be adults.
Right.
Are going to get credit at the technical college, but also at IRSC.
Well, it is really exciting, and it's exciting for those partnerships. It's exciting for our families, and so for children and for adults that'll be progressing. I mean, they'll be leaving those programs making very good wages to support, and that just brings more wealth to our community. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people might not think that technical programs or technical careers pay a lot, or have high wages, but
Right.
they actually do.
Yes.
A lot of the careers that these graduates will enter into have a higher starting salary than the four-year college degree programs.
Absolutely. That's exciting. So you're wearing pink today.
Yes.
Because real men wear pink, but that's part of an important initiative that you're involved in.
Yes, the American Cancer Society has a Real Men Wear Pink campaign, and I'm participating in the Real Men Wear Pink campaign. It's an effort to raise money in the Making Strides campaign for research on combating breast cancer. So I am wearing a pink tie today, and I have the pink lapel pin on as a member of the Real Men Wear Pink campaign. And I'm raising money for the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer campaign. And so if you just Google Real Men Wear Pink or go onto the American Cancer Society website, you can see ways you can donate. It's really a community effort.
Yes.
There are 17 other leaders in the community, men, that are in this Real Men Wear Pink campaign. Chief Curry is one of them. Commissioner O'Brien's another.
Right.
So, we're all trying to do our thing to raise money to combat, breast cancer, but all forms of cancer as well.
Absolutely. And breast cancer can impact men as well.
Yes, men
My
can.
father was a survivor, so, it's for everyone.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's the thing. I think, we don't always think of men, that men could contract breast cancer, but
Right.
they can. So, this fight is not just for women,
Right.
but for anyone that could be impacted by breast cancer or any other form of cancer.
That's awesome. And so Casual for a Cause continues.
Yes. Yeah, we'll have Casual for a Cause again this year. This is where we have a district-wide focus on a certain organization, usually within our community.
Right.
that does good work. For the month of September, our Casual for a Cause organization will be will be the United Way. And so during the month of September, all of our schools will educate our students and our staff members on what the United Way does, but also one day during that month, students will be able to pay a small fee to dress more casually for the day. All of our elementary schools and 3 of our 4 middle schools have dress code requirements, uniforms.
Right.
And so on those fundraising days to honor the different cause, those students can pay a small fee and dress differently. You know, they don't have to wear the uniform to school. And so 2 things we're trying to accomplish each month, highlighting the organization, making people aware of who the organization is and what they do, but also to raise funds to kind of give back to our community. And so September is the United Way. October is the American Cancer Society, you know, our way to kind of honor that and make sure our students and staff know about what the American Cancer Society does, but also to raise money. November is the local Veterans Council of Indian River County. We want to make sure that we, you know, highlight the service to our country of our veterans and also raise a little money for the Veterans Council. And then December, it's our standard Salvation Army. We want to make sure we do our part to raise funds for the Salvation Army and all the good work they do in our community.
Well, I think it's really outstanding, and it's just a great way to bring the community into our schools. And I think it's been exciting to see how those groups have done presentations at the schools to make the students aware, and I think that also makes the families aware. So,
yeah, absolutely. It's the community outreach is, like I said, it's not just to raise money for each organization, but to raise awareness. And so you're right. A lot of times those organizations will then come into the school and, you know, deliver presentations to classes about what their organization is and what they do. And I think that's really important. I think the American Heart Association comes in February and does things. And so, you know, it's a great way for our students to learn about all the good work that's being done in our community, and then a way for them to give back.
Oh, absolutely. And United Way, I think, is a perfect one to kick off because so many of, I know for the Ed Foundation, it supports our Step into Kindergarten and some of our algebra programs. But then there's other organizations that provide wraparound services like Gifford Youth Achievement Center, Boys and Girls Club. So many of those initiatives are embedded in the United Way model, but support our school districts so generously.
Yeah, the United Way does a great job of sharing the funds that they generate with a lot of different organizations that support all of the citizens in our community. So it's great for, you're right, it's a really good organization to kick off the year.
And that leads into United Way Day of Caring, so we hope people will volunteer in October as well. So.
Yes, if you're at all interested in learning more about the United Way Day of Caring, you can go on the United Way website, and there's a whole tab on the Day of Caring. All of our schools are going to be involved in the Day of Caring this year.
That's awesome.
Some of them will have some projects on their campus, and then others will be supplying the labor, so to speak, to accomplish some of the other projects around the county.
And the Ed Foundation will be there with our team as well, so it'll be a lot of fun. Well, we've covered a lot of great information from the start of school to the calendar committee to the start of school time analysis, strategic planning, the Career and Technical Education Center. And I know there are more things on the horizon as the school year progresses. Is there anything you want to share before we wrap up?
Just to make sure everyone knows that there are always great positive things happening in all of our schools. And to learn about those, you just go to our website. There's all kinds of great information on our website about all the accomplishments that our students and our staff are making. This is a people business. You know, public education is all about the interaction between the teacher and the student. And, you know, we want to make sure that everybody understands we're working as hard as we can to provide the best education possible for every student in every classroom each and every day. And if people want to learn more, they can go on the website and click on the tab for the strategic plan even, because all of that information is covered in there.
Right, and there's other ways they can follow. They can follow the school district on Twitter, right, and Facebook as well.
Yes, we're in the social media business as well. We've got a Facebook page. The school district has a Twitter account. I have a Twitter account, so we're always issuing tweets about the different things that are going on in our schools, and the Facebook page is alive with information. Yeah,
I feel like on both feeds I learn a lot about the great things that are happening in the schools because the schools do a great job sharing videos and pictures, and it's just really, it's hard not to hit like on everything. Well, I do anyways, but it's really, if you're feeling kind of down, it's a great way to lift your spirits for the day.
You know, absolutely. I think a lot of times what we read in the press is negative.
Yeah.
Not just about the school district or anything else, but there's just a lot of negativity in what most news publications or whatever put out. And, if you want to see the good stuff, you can go to the school district's Facebook page or some of those Twitter accounts. A lot of the schools have Twitter accounts.
Yes.
And they're always posting pictures about all the different great things that are happening in their schools. And it is a good morale booster when you see all those things going on.
So lots of good things, and I thank you for your leadership and for the good work of all of our teachers and principals. It's a great start to the school year, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in the next couple of months.
Well, me too, and I'll be back and we'll share all of that.
That sounds great. Thanks for being with us. We hope you'll tune in again soon.